let's talk about family wealth or transfer of wealth between generations. I've seen plenty of literature and financial planning, financial industry articles where there's going to be trillions of dollars that's going to be transferred from the baby boomers down to millennials over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And yeah, the numbers certainly make sense of that. But my thinking of this is it's got to be much more than just handing over money. Because here's a statistic. I kind of knew this was true, but I never figured out the statistics behind it. But the statistics on first generation's wealth being transferred from the first person to the third person are frightening. It is estimated that 90% of wealth that was created by the first generation will be squandered by the third generation. 90%, that's incredible. Which means if, for example, if your grandparents or whatever, passed away today with $1 million, hypothetically, the third generation, they're going to squander it. And if I think of my experience, it makes total sense, because usually that first generation that they've strived, oftentimes you'll find they've had their own struggle story. They grew up in poverty, they grew up in tough circumstances. They had to work really, really, really hard to ensure that they had finances so they could provide for their family and make sure that they didn't go without. So the first generation generally builds the wealth. The second generation generally keeps it, because they've learnt the lessons. They've seen how hard their parents have worked for their finances, but that drive isn't quite there. So they've learnt how to keep the finances. They haven't learnt how to make the money as well and continue that wealth creation strategy. But the third generation, they're just thinking, oh, grandpa or grandma, it's just an old crock. Yeah, he did well as a business and all this kind of stuff. But money's always been there. I've grown up in money. I don't need to make money. Money's always going to be there. And they just spend and spend and spend and spend and spend like there is no tomorrow, because they've always had finances. And as a result, they squander the family wealth. So my challenge here is this, my thought here is this: when we're talking about transferring of wealth, it's got to be more than just a dollar amount. It has to be more than just a dollar amount. There has to be lessons transferred across as well. So if you are someone that is expecting an inheritance, don't just ask about, just don't accept the money and say thank you. Learn how they got those money. Learn the lessons and the hard work and the struggles they went through to get that wealth. And importantly, my challenge to you is this: that when it comes your turn to leave that legacy has got to be bigger than what you were given with. So if you were given $1 million, I challenge you when times your turn to pass on that legacy, you've got to turn it into $2 million. That's my challenge, because legacy has got to be bigger and bigger. Leave a bigger legacy than the one that you received.